Hi everyone, my name is Arina and welcome to the NORDINARY Show, the podcast where extraordinary business owners will tell us about their experience and share with us what kind of mistake they made or not when they try to build their business. Will be very interesting. Let's speak about the real business. Hi Fatos.
Hi, Arina.
Welcome to our podcast. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm great. So exciting before our conversation.
Yes, it's lovely to be here.
Amazing. Let's start about the real business. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Maxamaze and what kind of service do you provide for the sellers and etc.?
Okay, so Maxamaze is an Amazon listing optimization and creative agency. So we build Amazon listings from the ground up, everything to do with the front end of your Amazon business. Photography, videos, A+ content, sales copy, SEO, Amazon storefront, all of that. So we do the conversion piece of the equation. Your Amazon sales are a function of two main things: traffic and conversion. And our job is to make sure that you're converting, you're getting the clicks, and then you're converting.
Amazing. And can you take us back to the very beginning of your e-commerce journey? What is inspired you to start your own business?
Okay, so starting my own business goes a lot further back than my e-commerce journey. Um, I started my own business aged 22. That was a long time ago. So yeah, I studied economics at university, and I went to Cambridge. I thought I was going to go into the city, go into finance, and that would be my life. So I followed the herd, as it were, into the city of London and started training as an accountant. It didn't take very long to realize that that was not for me. Having a job where I go into an office and I'm told what to do, and auditing particularly, was totally against my nature, because when you're doing auditing, you're basically going back and looking for mistakes and errors in work that somebody else has done over the last year or however long, which is something that's completely contrary to my nature. I'm somebody who likes to create things rather than going looking for mistakes. So I felt like it was just the worst job for me. I absolutely hated it. I hated going to work every morning. And so, I did that for about a year, and then I started my own business, which was a lingerie and swimwear brand. And we started that initially in retail. And so my vision for that was that, we wanted to build the brand. And how do you build the brand? You make sure that you're in high profile locations, you're being seen, you're getting the right people coming into your stores. So I opened my first shop on King's Road in London, aged 22. And we built that brand. We had more retail stores in, again, high profile locations. We had a load of celebrity clients. We built a great brand, quality lingerie and swimwear. So that's how I started my own business. E-commerce came much, much later on. In the days when I started, there was no internet.
Yeah, but tell us how you started the Maxamaze. What was the idea and inspiration?
Okay, so I started as an Amazon private label seller. That's how I came into that universe. And as with a lot of things in life, whether it's personal or business, a lot of things are coincidence and just happenstance. And I always kind of did my own Amazon listings. I still have my private label business, and people were saying, wow, your listings look so great and you're converting so well. Who does your listings? And I was like, well, actually I do them. And so slowly, people were like, oh, could you help me with that? And, you help people. And then you think, actually, well, this is a business. And that's essentially how it started. And I love creating things. I have a very visual brain. I totally cannot paint or draw. I'm not very good with that side of it, but in terms of visualizing things and imagining things, I think that is one of my stronger suits. So that's how it was born, and it's just grown organically. We've never really advertised. We've never done paid advertising. It's just grown through word of mouth and referrals.
That's amazing. It's the same story like with the Nordinary, because I never thought that in one day, I opened the company, branding agency, because it's absolutely started organically. And that's amazing that your people give you the idea what you can do more for the e-commerce, for yourself. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But what can you share with us? What were the biggest challenges when you started, and how did you overcome them?
So with Maxamaze, the challenges,
Yep.
yeah, the biggest challenge is, where do you get your clients? Because you understand this. You're also, a service provider, with branding. And, when you're selling on Amazon, there's a platform, you put your product up there, you do PPC, people find you, they buy your product. When you're selling a service, especially when it's so specialist, it's a different story. So the hardest thing was, where do I find clients? So the first thing I started doing was just making sure I was going to events in London and meeting people in the Amazon space. And then I started going to events in the US as well, and just kind of growing my network of people, connecting with people on LinkedIn, and just trying to identify really which connections are the most likely to bring you work. So it's great I love meeting people, and it's great to just meet people, whether they're going to be a source of work or not. But just being able to see which of those connections are potentially going to be a source of work. And that's always a challenge. There's
Yeah.
no rule. So
Yeah, absolutely. But if we speak about the mistakes or fuck ups, it's not a good word, but it's a reality. What kind of mistakes you make when you build your business? You can share the experience, not only Maxamaze, because when entrepreneur start the business, it's not only about the beautiful side, about the results and etc. Usually we faced with a lot of different challenges, and of course sometimes we did a mistake. Can you share something interesting with us about this part?
yes, definitely. I think for me, like the biggest lesson that I've learned is to always trust my own judgment, and to shut out the noise, because whatever you're doing, whichever industry you're in, there's always so much noise. And it's just to really stay focused on what you know and what you're doing and what you're good at. One big mistake that I made in my previous business, where we had retail, was it was a time when a lot of people were growing in retail, opening lots of stores, expanding in lots of different areas, and landlords were trying to get everybody into shops, and we expanded too quickly. you just sort of get carried away with that. Oh my gosh, everybody's opening lots of stores. We should be in this location. We should be in that location. And I shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. We should have kind of grown more slowly, and taken more time over it. But that was a mistake I learned. It was an expensive mistake. So I think kind of just be really focused on what you're doing, and just don't get distracted by what everybody else around you is doing, and just really be laser focused on what exactly is going on within your business. That's definitely a lesson for me.
Oh, that's amazing, because I absolutely agree with you. When you start, so much people want to give you some their vision, or you need to do this or this or this, and sometimes you need to calm down and focusing on your vision, and it's absolutely your journey. And if it will be mistake, this decision, it will be your mistake, not because some people tell you about this. But okay, I will speak about maybe some investment or strategy. Maybe you can share something interesting, or remember some interesting cases, and can share this info with us.
So do you mean like a venture that I've gone into, or sorry, just expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I just try to get more information from your story. Maybe maybe I don't know, you don't use some sales channel, and was a mistake, and for example, now today Fatos can recommend to use the different sales channel to the different another entrepreneur. Or maybe you invest money for some absolutely not resultative channel or something like this, because it's always very interesting. Because when we start the business, or we for example in business,
Yeah.
and I absolutely agree with you that the biggest challenges is to find the client, because it's you need to be visible, you need to, for example, budget, you need to find your audience, and etc., etc. And the biggest challenges for, I think, every entrepreneur. But sometimes we try to get everything, and use all social networks, or I don't know, all strange ideas, so creative ideas, and it doesn't work. And of course, it's very interesting for another entrepreneur. Listen, maybe you did something the same, or for example, today Fatos will did everything different, not like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Yes. So definitely there are more examples of that in my older business, my offline business, and that was trying to, if you try and serve too many people, then you have to be very focused. Just identify who is your audience and make sure that those are the people that you're serving. So for example, we did complete end-to-end manufacturing, design, sourcing, producing, and delivering swimwear. And we worked with various different companies at different price points. And at one point, we had a client who basically wanted the product for such a low price. There was absolutely no margin. And they took up so much of the team's time, the designers, the technologists, everybody. So that client just was a waste of time and money, because there was no money to be made, but they distracted the team, they took up our time. So the lesson from that is just really identify who your client is, and if you're trying to target and find those clients, then identify where they're hanging out. If they're the sort of people that hang out on LinkedIn, don't go looking for them on Facebook or on TikTok. And I think there are a lot of people in our space who maybe think, you've got to be on TikTok, you've got to be on Instagram, you've got to be on X, you've got to be on LinkedIn, you've got to be on Facebook. And those are all very different platforms. It's unlikely that every single one of those people is using all of those platforms. So you do need to, I think, what's the saying? If you shoot at nothing, you hit it every time. So yeah, you can't have this scattergun approach that you just think, I'll just kind of go crazy and see what sticks. You need to know what you're aiming at.
Absolutely, absolutely agree with you. That's amazing. But okay, can you please tell us about how you today, Fatos? You have your Amazon business, you have Maxamaze agency, and what helped you to be on trends? What helped you to be on the market? Because e-commerce sphere, it's so dynamic, and you and me absolutely know how many service provider we have today, how many brands we have, and how many service providers. And do you have maybe some life hacks or some, I don't know, your secrets? What help you to be on trends? And yeah.
I think you need to be connected to the space. So, I use LinkedIn a lot. Follow the people who are relevant. There are some people who are always putting out really great content. So I make sure that I follow them because, as you said, it's so dynamic. There may be an Amazon update that I missed, but somebody else is talking about it. So that way you make sure that you're up to date with everything that's happening. Well, almost everything that's happening. Yeah, and there are some very, very smart people in the space, and I make sure that I follow them, and that makes it really interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you. When we spoke about with Nick about Nick, it's our closest partner for me in Fatosh, and Nick told me one absolutely right thing, that the biggest resource that we have, it's a people, because people can give you power, ideas. I don't know, for example, you start your own business absolutely organically because people give you this idea. And you just bring a puzzle and maximize today on the market. And that's absolutely amazing. And can you give some recommendation for the new entrepreneurs or people who want to start their business? What they need to do?
So the first thing is to just genuinely have something that is a solution that people are looking for. Everybody needs to come up with an amazing idea. If you want to start up a business, first of all, figure out, what your solution is and who is your customer. Whose problem are you solving? Because if you don't know that, you don't know who you're going to sell to and how you're going to sell to them. So yeah, just have a really clear vision. Because as you know, there's so much. There are so many different solutions out there. So you've really got to have something that stands out, that people are going to stop and look at.
Absolutely. And maybe you have recommendation what kind of mistakes they need to avoid.
Oh, good question. Well, getting carried away in the hype is definitely one thing. And budget, understand your numbers. That's fundamental. Before you do anything else, do your numbers, work it all out before you press the button. So definitely.
It's a really good answer to be honest, because it's very important because I just a few days ago I started thinking that why on the internet you can find a lot of courses about how to run PPC, how to run, I don't know, creatives and etc., how to do accounting or etc., etc. We had 1,000 courses when we start searching on the internet. But what about why nobody told us the reality? First of all, that you need to calculate and know the numbers and understand how you need to do it, because without that, it's a story about your expectation and reality. You expect that for example, if you sellers, I will start my own business, I will start selling thousand and million for the first months. It's expectation, but reality, it's absolutely different. Why nobody tell the people why is the reality and what challenges they need to face? And it's really a good answer, I think.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, there are so many courses teaching you how to do things, and especially a lot of, Amazon FBA courses. A lot of them don't really tell you how much money you need to get started, because they'll say, oh, you need this many $1,000s to buy your inventory, to ship it in. But what they don't tell you is, you have to have money for PPC to launch. And you need to have money for your next lot of inventory, because if you launch and you sell out, then that's just completely wasted money. You need to be able to maintain your inventory, keep your ranking, keep your sales velocity. A lot of them don't really talk about that. It's very important to give people realistic expectations. Entrepreneurs are all, adventurous, intrepid people who will just jump in. They're people who are fearless a lot of the time and take risks. But I think calculated risks is what we all need to be taking.
Yeah, but if can you share because you had experience in offline and online business?
Yeah.
And for example, today many people think that online it's so easy. But this is true or not?
No, it's not, because you still need money to finance your business. I mean, yes, there are some people who are still doing drop shipping where they don't really have, the risk in terms of inventory really isn't there. But if you're building a brand, if you're building a sustainable business, you do need to have the financing for your product, for your marketing. None of that happens without money. So it isn't easy.
Absolutely. And I think we can add that for each category, it could be a little bit different budget,
Yeah,
because we need to understand that the logistic cost it's absolutely different if we speak about 1 kilo or 10 kilo product. And of course, price from manufacturer, if it's some gadget, it's expensive than some
yeah.
accessories and etc. And as a specialist in Amazon sphere, maybe you have some recommendation what kind of niche will be on top in 2024?
That's $1 million question, literally.
I know.
Um,
But
it's
no, I think
yeah,
people in e-commerce know that always will be more popular something for the children, for
yeah,
pets, and maybe some accessories, because for example, kitchen accessories, because
yeah,
mostly of online customer is the women's.
yeah.
because we have more time than our husbands and man to
Yeah.
searching something interesting for our house, for children, for pets, because we don't we want to spend our money for our dog, cat, or of course yeah, we speak about our children, but maybe you have some insights.
I think instinct more than that is, I think, anything like fitness, home fitness type products, because there is that trend towards it, that it is a very, very strong trend of people wanting to get fit and lead healthier lives. So anything that's like for fitness at home, equipment or clothing, or that sort of area. Also, things like home beauty products, like whether they're manicure kits or grooming of any type for women. I think those sorts of products are still going to be strong, because it's a lot cheaper to do it at home yourself than going to a salon, if you can
Yeah,
do it at home. So I think those sorts of products are still going to be, in demand.
it's a really good answer. Thank you so much for this. And to the end of our podcast, because I think you share a lot of very interesting information to our audience, and maybe you can share with us your plans for 2024.
2024, yes, absolutely, is, well, to continue to grow Maxamaze. So we already have in place, that the flywheel, I think, is just starting to spin faster, which is the best thing. So the last year and a half or so, we've been building our customer base and just growing on that. So we have some targets, numbers, which are private to me and my accountant only. But yeah, the idea is to keep growing that, and to just keep increasing awareness of the importance of listing quality. I'm amazed, whenever I do a presentation. I do presentations sometimes also in small groups with very experienced sellers, and I'm amazed at, when I show them examples of what listings should look like, that they're like, oh wow, and they haven't been doing it. And a lot of people who are very experienced, been in space for a long time, still are not even familiar with um, all the features of premium A plus content, and how powerful it is, how much it can help you with your conversions. So just continuing to build awareness of the importance of, how important conversions are, and how big a part of that your listing quality is.
Amazing. Thank you, Fatosh, for this discussion. Um I'm absolutely exciting, because always after the webinars, I get a lot of information from the speakers' synergy, and I believe that 2024 will be a very good year for the Maximize. I believe for that, and thank you so much for our conversation. I think it's very useful for the audience, and we'll see. Maybe a little bit later we can continue, and you tell maybe something interesting that you start in 2024 and share
Yeah.
this experience.
Yeah, definitely. That would be great, because we're still at the beginning of 2024. And of
Yeah.
course, with Nordinary, who knows where you're going to be at the
Oh
end of
yeah. Oh my God. I
2024.
have so many plans for this year.
Yeah,
And I'm a little bit scared, before the big grow, you always like, maybe no, maybe yes, but you need to take a risk and do everything from your heart and soul. And if you feel that this is will be right decision, you need to risk.
yeah. Yeah, but it's going to be amazing. You're going to have an amazing year, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. Hope see you soon for the next our podcast and wish you a great day.
Thank you, Arena.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.